What happens when you make one of the most popular Pokemon fan games in 2016? Nintendo gives you multiple DMCA takedown strikes, which sucks. Pokemon Uranium is a classic Pokemon fan game that's up to Gen 6 with a new region, new Pokemon species, and a new Pokemon type. Before we get into this awesome game, I added a couple rules: no healing items during battle, set mode, only leveling up to gym leader's strongest Pokemon, my team size must match the gym leader's team size, and I'm only allowing one held item, and I'll get to that later. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more Pokemon fan game content and other fan games that I should try out. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Let's see if we can hit 25 likes for Pokemon Uranium. So let's jump right in. We are greeted by Professor Bambo, and after choosing our character, we get some backstory. Our father, Kellen, is a Pokemon Ranger, and our mother, Lucille, is a nuclear scientist. However, one day at the nuclear plant, a total meltdown occurred, and in the chaos, we lost her. Then after, our father became distant and buried himself with his job, where he rose up in the ranks and became the Chief Ranger, while we lived with our aunt in Moki Town. Eventually, we applied to become one of Professor Bambo's research assistants, and today's the day we finally meet him. We head off and we run into our neighbor slash friend Theo. We arrive at Bambo's lab and take a personality test to determine what starter we would get. We end up with the grass and steel type Orkinks, while Theo ends up with the electric water type Eletux. Theo challenges us to our first rival battle and obviously loses because of our type advantage. He gets super upset with us and runs off to his house. We follow and explain the situation to his father Cameron, who sets him straight. Then Professor Bambo shows us how to catch Pokemon, gives us some Pokeballs, a Pokepod, and a Pokédex. We head towards Nowditch City, catching an array of different Pokemon to help us face the first gym leader, former Tantor champion Maria. When we get there, her gym's blocked by some guy that somehow has the key to her house, which is not weird at all. It's super weird. We go there, inform her of this creep, and she thanks us by accepting our gym challenge. She starts with her normal and flying type Alton versus our rock and steel type Barrow, and thanks to its superior defenses, it headbutted its way through Alton. Next comes out her normal type Falang and puts Beryl to sleep with Yawn, so we switch into our Orkinks to stall it out with Leech Seed. Her final Pokemon is the evolved form of Falang, Felung. With the power of Leech Seed, Orkinks was able to also stall it out and crit it with a Vine Whip, giving us our first gym badge. Before leaving town, Theo comes for another rival battle, but was easily cleared through with the power of our Mankey. Upset and crying once more, he gives us the HM Rock Smash and runs away. With our first gym badge in hand, we now can get an Old Rod where we catch a Fortog, which we trade for a dark and fighting type Boshan named Uaman. We arrive at Burrow City, where we face off against the second gym leader, Cave Explorer Davern. He leads off with Gozard, a ground type that Orkinks is able to Vine Whip. Next is his dark and ground type Modrill that Uaman takes down with a Rock Smash and the Moxie ability to boost our attack power. Now the evolved form of Beryl comes out, Deerul, and it faces the same fate. His final Pokemon is a large poison type called Tofarang. Uaman tries its best to take it down. It's worn down by poison damage and faints to a Poison Fang. Our own Gozard comes out to bulldoze Tofarang to the ground, winning us our second gym badge. With that out the way, we head to Comet Cave, where all the Pokemon for some reason are acting very aggressive, so Theo tags along with us. As we got closer and closer to the source of the problem, tremors and frightening roars suddenly filled the cave, scaring Theo and trapping us with the evolved form of Gozard, the two-headed dragon ground type Turlard. Luckily, Uaman's fighting capabilities were enough to beat it. As we are exiting, a hiker informs us that when two Turlard's heads start fighting, it can cause the Pokemon around it to become very aggressive. When we enter Rockefeller Town, we run into Professor Bambo, who needs our help. His research friend Lily had some Pokemon stolen, and we learned that the thief is in a nearby cave from an Owlton she has with her Pokemon speech translator device. She gives it to us to help us in the search. We encounter a couple more Owltons, then we find the thief, a Pokemon called Garlickid, that battles us with the stolen Pokemon. After a thorough beating, the Pokemon go back to the lab and Garlickid runs off. And before leaving, we do a quick trade for a fire and flying type Pokemon called Polly, but this one's nicknamed as Kyvie. We go through the Rochfell tunnel into Route 7 until Theo comes and stops us for another rival battle. And his team is absolutely destroyed by Uranium, who's now evolved into a boss Shah. With its new evolution and Moxie ability power, he sends Theo running off crying once more, and we arrive at Bill Beach City Ranger HQ to visit our father. We meet up with him and he's super proud of us becoming such a successful trainer and requests us to deliver a letter to Cameron at the nearby nuclear plant that's being built, which is next to the same one our mother disappeared at, nuclear plant Epsilon. Theo tags along and Cameron allows us to roam the area as per our father's letter's request. He warns us to be careful since all the Pokemon around here are affected by the nuclear radiation, which made them gain the nuclear type, which is super effective to all types and against all types excluding steel types. We explored the island plus nuclear plant Epsilon. After messing with some old machinery in the plant, we suddenly fell through the floor where a nuclear Troapine attacks us. Luckily, it's a poison and nuclear type, and our own Gozar recently evolved into a Turlard that easily bulldozes the nuclear threat. However, the nuclear radiation it gave off caused us to faint. Luckily, Cameron and his team came into the rescue and brought us back to health. He sends us back to Bill Beach City so that we can face our third gym leader, Beach Gal Callie. She starts off with a dark and water type Tubjaw that gets scared by Yoamen's Brick Breaks, forcing it to switch into her Braylip, which wasn't a smart choice since it's a water and psychic type, giving Yoamen to give it a good beat up attack. She sends out her Sablo that water pulses Yoamen out of its mind, causing it to faint due to confusion. Orkinks comes out to beat it with a Vine Whip, but is also left confused, allowing her Tubjaw to come in and beat it with a pursuit attack. Turlard comes in and bulldozes it out, and our final Pokemon, Kararum, comes out, and its Sam Tomb and Leaf Blade cuts right through Turlard's health, and our final Pokemon, Kyvie, comes out to cut down Kararum's health with an air cutter, winning us our third gym badge and Orkinks involved into Metal Links. With another gym badge under our belt, don't forget to hit that like button. Suddenly, explosion occurs at the old nuclear plant, and the Pokemon Rangers head into action. The waves of radiation cause the nearby Pokemon to become feral and nuclear types. We help out as best as we can, facing waves of nuclear Pokemon and even a giant nuclear Gyarados that we catch. With the situation handled, a ranger informs us that our dad set us up with the ferry to the next town for us. We get to the ferry, and while exploring it around, we find that Theo's on aboard as well, and he's in a mood for another battle. And unsurprisingly, our newly evolved Deerle beats most of his team, leaving his new Electroxo for our Metal Links to beat it with Leaf Blade. And now he's crying again. But also his father kinda went missing after that nuclear explosion, so sounds like a personal problem, so I leave him be. We arrive at Route 8 where we enter Vinavilla Town to face the fourth gym leader, the bored scientist Sheldon. He starts with a psychic and steel type called S51 that falls to Yoamen's beat up attack, along with his Cometeor and his Gyarados. And while this is looking like another clean sweep for us, his dragon and steel type Tracheon rolls in. It's super fast and super powerful and utterly destroys the team with Dragon Claw, but it's all up to our Sablo, which can defeat it with a Mud Bomb, but it misses.
5 minutes later.
So in round 2, things go just the same way, but this time Sablo uses its eyes and lands the freaking Mud Bomb, winning us our 4th gym badge. As we leave town, we run into Theo again, and a quick reminder, don't forget to hit that Suddenly another nuclear meltdown happens. The local Pokemon Ranger comes in to fly us to safety to Leggin Town. They request some trainers to assist in fighting the nuclear Pokemon nearby. Us, Theo, and the gym leader volunteer. However, they reject Theo since he's just a kid and doesn't have Sheldon's badge. And, like always, he gets upset and starts crying again. So we head out and meet up with our dad and the Rangers to battle the nearby nuclear Pokemon and save citizens caught in the middle of this madness. Once the perimeter is stable, our dad gives us the HM strength so that we can go through the Bakel Forest and reach Amity Town for our next gym badge. However, when we arrive at the gym, we're informed that the gym leader is currently training in the deeper levels of a cave system called the Ant Hell. We're given bug spray to chase off a group of bugs standing in our way as we head to the deepest part of the ant hell. We find them captured by a bunch of bugs and free them, but suddenly they surround us and we have to face their queen. We face the insect queen, Psychomator, who's actually a legendary Pokemon too and one of the toughest bugs I've ever met. She constantly increases her defense power with Defense Order and heals herself with Heal Order, making her nearly invincible. Luckily, we also have a tanky strategy like that with our Metal Links. We beat it in a stall off with Leech Seed and some critical hits. With the Queen's defeat, we return back to Amity Town, face the captured but now freed fire dancing 5th gym leader Tico. Our Turlard comes out and rock slides his Polly and his Pajay, who set up Sunny Day for the rest of his team. We were able to run out the Sunny Day against his Chimaconda, but Turlard falls to a Night Slash. Our Brain Roar, the evolution of Brainlet, comes out to lay a psychic beat down on Chimaconda, and his final Pokemon, Infligetta, comes out. It has the ability Acceleration, which boosts the power of priority moves, and with that boost it was able to defeat our Brain Roar with an extreme speed. Our Corsoreef, this game's evolution for Corsola, comes out to tank all of Infligetta's attacks and stall it out with Toxic, winning us our 5th gym badge. We head out of town and run into Theo for another rival battle, but this one's gonna be a little different. You see, Amity Town is cut off from the rest of the region because of the forest. Therefore, they don't have any electricity. Therefore, they don't have any PCs nor Pokemon centers. So the only team I have on now is the team that I faced Tico with, and that's down a Pokemon. Even though the odds were stacked against us, we still won with ease. Chimical went down from our Turlard's Bulldoze attack, then Brain Roar beats Paraboom, Chupacho, and Garurul with some rain boosted water pulses. Finally, Sablu Mud Shots Electroxo. Once again defeating and upset, he gives us the HM Surf so that we can finally explore the eastern half of the Tantor region. While exploring, we run into some surfing ninjas with ninja themed Pokemon that I never thought I would see that in a Pokemon game, but I like it. After defeating them and their other team members, we end up facing their boss, beating them and gaining their trust and become the new ninja boss of their squad. We run ashore at Vanessa City for our 6th gym badge against brilliant actress and master of disguise Rosalind. She starts with a Drum Sama against our Infligetta, but after landing a hit we actually discover it's disguised as a Masling. After we defeat it, she brings out her Wynonier, which is a fairy and fighting type. So we switch into our flying and bug type, Harptera. Wynonier misses a high jump kick, and then Harptera comes in with an acrobatics. Then Harptera defeats her duplicate that transforms into Harptera with another acrobatics, followed by her Miasmatic, which is this game's other Spritzy evolution. Her real psychic and ghost type, Drawn Sama, which is actually the evolution of Masking, was able to come out and beat Harptera with a Shadow Ball, but stood no chance to Infligetta's bite attack, fainting it and winning us our 6th gym badge. We leave the gym and Professor Bambo tells us that the next gym is in the high mountains north at Snowbank Town, and he's arranged another rival battle for us against Theo. We meet him outside of town and he starts with his Garurul that's destroyed by Infligetta's Flame Impact, followed by his Chupacho. Harptera takes a chomp out of Paraboom with Bug Bite. Chimiconda gets washed away with Surf by our newly evolved Excadriss. and ends this by mud-shotting Electroxa. And with some sudden character growth, Theo surprisingly doesn't run away and cry. Before heading out, we stock up on some supplies and we're given an Eevee. And when we leveled it up near our nuclear Gyarados that we caught earlier, it evolved into Nucleon. We enter the labyrinth and I get embarrassingly and thoroughly lost. After finding my way out, we go through Route 15, pass through Silverport Town, north through the snowy mountains, and finally reach Snowbig Town. Theo, with a new cool style, meets us at the gym, and we are informed that this gym challenge is a two-man job. We both breeze through all the gym's trials to face the master of the icy mountains and the keeper of Mega Evolution, Gym Leader Varen. And despite this being a double battle, it was a one-sided massacre thanks to our Nucleon and its amazing ability Atomizate, which makes normal type moves become nuclear type and receive a nice boost to base power. And since Varen's Pokemon were all dual type, they would take 4 times damage, and to top it all off, Nucleon knew Hyper Voice, hitting both Pokemon at the same time, even rendering his mighty Mega Ampharos useless, easily winning our 7th gym badge. With our victory, Varen gives us both Mega Rings and Mega Stones for our starters, and obviously we both Mega Evolve our respective starters and start another rival battle. Our Metalinx lands a crit Leaf Blade, defeating Electroxo. Then his Luchabra, the evolved form of Chupacho, Garurul, and Paraboom, once more fall to Harptera's fury. Chimiconda gets washed away by Escadris, and he reveals he also has a Nucleon. However, thanks to Metalinx's steel typing, we're able to defeat it with ease. Before leaving town, Professor Bamboo comes to congratulate us and gives us the HM die for our final gym. He warns us to be on guard since the final nuclear plant Zeta is located near there, and well, the other 2 nuclear plants blew up, so the likelihood of this blowing up too is at an all-time high. We head back to Silverport Town, where Sailor offers a ride back to Vanessa City, who was actually a pirate. He attacks us, but we make him and his Pokemon walk the wooden plank and he retreats. Another actual sailor offers up a ride for us, and then we go through Route 14 and its underwater passages. However, when we resurface, the pirate we encountered and his partner attack us once more. Luckily, we had the backup of our ninja squad, who ran them off and provided a safe passage to their town, Tsukinami Village, where our final gym battle awaits. We meet the gym leaders, who are also the leaders of the village, Hinata and Kato. To get our gym badge, we have to defeat both of them back to back, making this essentially a 6v8 Pokemon battle. We face Princess of the Sun Hinata, who starts with a Flareon against our Escartris, where we surf Flareon away. Next is her grass and dragon type Colif, that's destroyed by Harptera's acrobatics. Her electric and grass type Gale and fries Harptera with a thunderbolt, but our Infligetta comes out and burns it to a crisp with flame impact. Her final Pokemon is a Mega Whimsicott that comes out but also feels the flames of flame impact, defeating her. Next is the Prince of the Night, Kato, but just like Varen, he gets completely swept by Nucleon's Hyper Voice, and even his Mega Arbok falls to Nucleon. And with that, we have won our final gym badge. With our final gym badge in hand, hold on, let me look around here. Okay, everything looks fine. Don't forget to hit that like and... Oh, looks like Professor Bamboo's calling to congratulate us on getting the final gym badge, but suddenly hangs up. Okay. Well, at least it wasn't another warning alarm. So don't forget to... Oh, come on! Suddenly, the nuclear meltdown alarm goes off and the Pokemon Ranger comes to inform everyone to leave the village and to get to safety. The citizens refuse to listen at first, but then Hinata and Kato come out and make it an order. They then offer their full support as well as their ninja army to assist. The Ranger flies us out to Nuclear Plant Omnicron, where it's overran with nuclear Pokemon. We team up with our dad, Professor Bamboo, and Theo and fight off the nuclear threat. Then suddenly, a nuclear explosion occurs at the plant, and 2 mysterious figures emerge from the smoke. They introduce themselves as Curie and Uranium. They surge the area with nuclear radiation, weakening us, and hit our dad with an atomic punch, and surrounds us with nuclear Pokemon demanding uranium cells. Everything looks bleak and all hope looks lost, but then suddenly a massive thunderbolt hits the duo and Cameron emerges riding on a Pokemon. He reveals that he was in hiding and following the duo. He proactively moved the uranium cells somewhere else, obviously angering the duo. Excited and wanting to help his dad, Theo tries to help. Kiri notices this and attempts to kill Theo with a nuclear attack that Cameron takes instead. Upset that their plans are ruined, the duo leave and we fly back to Bill Beach City Ranger HQ. We discover from some notes Cameron had that he was actually an agent sent to investigate some illegal experiments on Pokemon. He found plans detailing the creation of an artificial Pokemon. Urane is a man-made Pokemon that runs on uranium cells, and it uses its geyser sensibility to detect radiation, which may have led to it awakening from its deep slumber. The person who is with it is using an interface to communicate it called the Kiri interface. With Urane's teleportation power, Quantum Leap, they attacked the previous nuclear plants but left a faint radioactive trail after each use. Cameron used this to find that their hideout is at Nuclear Plant Zeta, north of Viniville Town. With this information, our dad makes Theo and I full-fledged rangers and put us on a squad to infiltrate their hideout, since he can't do it thanks to the atomic punch, and currently Cameron's knocked out from the nuclear attack. We head out and we're given a hazard suit to fully protect us from the radiation and communication abilities with our dad. We battle through waves of nuclear Pokemon, and during our journey we find a Pokemon, Hazma, a Pokemon that actually eats radiation and can fully clear an area from it. When we reach Nuclear Plant Zeta, our father orders Theo to return to the ship due to the high radiation levels, but he refuses since he too wants to help face Kiri and Urane. Suddenly during the argument, communications are cut off and Urane appears and attacks us. We find ourselves alone deep within the nuclear plant and our hazard suit low on power. As we find our way around, we power up our suit with batteries that we find and use its tracking program to find Kiri and Urane so that we can rescue Theo. We finally meet them once more face to face, with Theo captured in some type of stasis tank. Kiri swears revenge for tricking them and we head straight into a battle. Kiri starts off with the Nucleon, but it's cut to pieces by Mega Metalinx's Leaf Blade, followed by their nuclear Arbok. However, Mega Barriet comes out and drain punches Metalinx's life force away. Despite that, Harptera comes out with acrobatics, taking out both nuclear Mega Barriet and its Xeno Queen. Harptera was even able to defeat Urane itself with the crit acrobatics. After that, Urane powers down and they retreat once more with Quantum Leap. With the situation over, we return to Ranger HQ with Theo, who decides to watch over his dad. Our dad congratulates us on a job well done and encourages us to take on the Tantor Championship. Also, Professor Bambo reports that the Hazma Pokemon we found earlier can be used to help nuclear infected Pokemon be not dangerous and feral anymore by eating away at the radiation that plagues them. With that, we head off the Victory Road to the top of Mount Actinite for a shot at becoming the champion of the Tantor region. When we arrive, we're greeted by Professor Bambo and our dad, who's excited to cheer us on. Theo and Cameron also come in as well, with Theo being excited to take on the Tantor Championship challenge as well. We go in and we're informed that there will be 5 rounds that we must win. The first 2 rounds were against 2 random trainers that we easily defeat. The third round is against the second gym leader, Davern. He starts off with Tofurang, and we use this opportunity to switch in Mega Metalinx and set up a Swords Dance. And with that, we absolutely destroy his team with Meteor Mashes and Leaf Blades, including his own Mega Drilligan. The fourth round was against the Ninja Master Hokage, who was the ninja we defeated earlier back in Route 5. And just like before, we beat him with the power of Metalinx. The final round and final battle is against our rival Theo. The battle is about to commence when suddenly the mountain roars and a large green Pokemon appears from the lava. It's a legendary Pokemon Acton, but it's giving off a lot of nuclear radiation, so we suit up with our hazard suit and battle it. And Infligetta lands a finishing flame impact that knocks it out. The nuclear energy from it dissipates and Baron comes in and is able to communicate with the legendary Pokemon. He explains that Acton was suddenly awoken and attacked by another legendary Pokemon that was siphoning energy from the rare metals in the heart of Mount Actonite. Acton temporarily joins our team, and we realize that it must have been Uranium and Curie behind this. Curie suddenly appears with massive amounts of nuclear radiation flooding the arena. Everyone evacuates, and we're left to face Curie and Uranium once more. However, Uranium is in its most powerful form, the Gamma form. But we're up to the challenge and lead with Acton to land and intimidate, then switch into Nucleon that gets knocked out by 2 overheats. I then send Harptera to land a quick acrobatics before it falls to an atomic punch. I bring Acton back out and it tanks an overheat, then gets its revenge by landing its signature move Metal Cruncher, defeating Uranium and sending it back to its alpha form with Acton taking it away. Curie mask breaks and their true identity is revealed. And surprisingly, it's Lucille, our mother. Our dad immediately takes her to the hospital and Acton returns with Uranium. Uranium uses telepathy to tell us that when it was created, it was alone, but the only person who talked to it and took care of it was our mother using the Curie interface suit. One day, the project for Uranium was shut down and they planned to destroy Uranium. Our mom decided to stage a meltdown to save it, shelter in a stasis tank for many years, until one day they broke out. Oh my goodness, I just realized this was all my fault. Because back at Nuclear Epsilon, where they disappeared at, I was there messing with the machinery, probably around the time where I fell through the floor to fight that other nuclear Pokemon. It must have opened up and released them. I hope no one finds out that this is my fault. Once they were released, they had to go out and find uranium cells for Uranium, and the long exposure within the stasis tank and having the Curie suit on that whole time messed up our mother's mind. Acton was able to create a uranium core out of rare metals to sustain Uranium for good, and with that, Uranium joins our team. Acton requests that we challenge it to a battle later in its lair, and everyone's amazed at the events that occurred today. Theo decides to forfeit from the Tantor Championship challenge as a sign of respect due to our legendary endeavors, and we go to the Hall of Fame to register our Pokemon. But I just can't simply allow it to end without battling our rival for the final time. So after the credits, I simply go back, tackle the Tantor Champion Challenge once more, and we enter the final round against Theo for our final rival battle. He starts with his Garurul, which Yoaman takes out easily with some drain punches, but gets knocked out by his Nucleon. Mega Metalinx cuts down Nucleon with a Leaf Blade, and Theo throws out his Chimiconda, forcing me to switch into Escartris that uses Earth Power to overpower Chimiconda. His Luchaba meets the same fate, then his Paraboom comes out with some Boom Bursts, overwhelming Escartris. Harptera comes out with Acrobatics to try and knock it out, but it isn't enough and also gets boom bursted. Infligetta comes out and was able to finally beat it with a Flame Impact, and his final Pokemon, Mega Electroxo, came out and scolds Infligera to death. Mega Metalinx comes out and slices and dices Theo's Mega Electroxo with Leaf Blade. With Theo's final Pokemon down, we become the new champion of the Tantor region, beating Pokemon Uranium. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, share it out, and subscribe to the channel. It will really help. I would really appreciate it as well. Let's see if we can hit 25 likes for being another classic Pokemon fan game. Also, comment down below any other Pokemon fan games that I should check out. Also, check out my experience playing Pokemon Insurgents on its hardest mode by clicking this video right here. You won't regret it. With that, this is Star Gaming's, and I will see you in the next adventure.